What else do I want to get done today? Let's go to West Side. I don't think I've really ever explored West Side much. I can't remember if the Thorn is here or it's somewhere else. The quest we have to get, like, the different animal eggs. Oh, Judah Krieger is here.
Why ain't the NCR taking care of regular folks yet?
Yeah, Judah Krieger is, he's gonna be important later. Gee, this area is fraying as shit. Oh, there we go, there's the Thorn. Take that, fiend.
The NCR ain't got to worry about Caesar no more. It should worry about improving the lives of regular folks around here.
So everybody, so the word has officially spread that Caesar is dead. So people know about Caesar's death. That's her, right? Red Lucy? Yeah.
I'd remember if I had seen you here before. I'm sure of it. What do you want?
What is this place?
The clamor of our bloodthirsty crowds.
Yeah, this is an
reaches
arena.
every
It's
corner
literally
of
an
the
arena.
wasteland. But I'll pretend that your ignorance doesn't offend me, stranger. This is the Thorn. Here's where the strong make a name for themselves, and the weak are fed to the jaws of hell. You can bet on the contenders. Or, if you have what it takes, be one of the contenders.
Have I played
Be
all
warned.
the Fallout games?
The Thorn demands respect. Break the rules,
No.
or offend me in any way, and I'll gut you open
Well,
for all to see.
It depends what you count as a Fallout game. In terms of like the mainline games, 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, and 4, yes, I've played them all. If you also count like spin-offs, so Fallout Tactics and Fallout 76, I've played a bit of Fallout Tactics, I didn't like it, so I stopped. I haven't played Fallout 76, and I haven't played Brotherhood of Steel, which is like kind of like the black sheep of the Fallout series. I did play a bit of Fallout Shelter as well, the mobile game, when it came out. I probably only played for a couple of hours, it's like, no, I'm not really into this. So I've played all the main games, yes, that's what I'd say. Tell me more about the Thorn.
What do you want to know?
How do you train the creatures?
Even if I trusted you, I'd not share my secrets just for your pretty face, stranger.
Hmm?
The Thorn's a sacred ground, a source of awe. Here we truly rule over the forces of nature, for once. These beasts are slaves to their instincts and hunger for blood. That's a good enough answer for everyone. And it'll do for you, too.
I only knew about 76 other than the main games. Yeah, there's quite a lot of different Fallout games. But yeah, I've played all the main games, so I've beaten all of them. So the first Fallout game that I played was Fallout 3. I think I got it maybe a year or two after it came out. Because I think it came in 07, I want to say. And I remember seeing the commercials for it, I was like, damn, this looks cool. And then I played it, and I thought it was really good. And then a couple years later, Fallout New Vegas came out. And I played it, and I was like, this is amazing. Then I was like, you know what, I want to check out the older games. So Fallout 1 and 2. Fallout 1 has a really great tone. And it's got a really amazing story overall, but there's a lot of like issues with it. A lot of the issues get fixed in Fallout 2, and Fallout 2 is also where the series gets its like sort of humorous tone that it has. Because like Fallout, it's obviously very heartbreaking. There's a lot of sad stuff. There's a lot of gruesome stuff, but it's also got like that sort of humor streak. And that started in Fallout 2. Fallout 1 doesn't really have that. At least, tell me how you find these creatures.
Our creatures come from the farthest reaches of the wasteland. The Thorn takes care of them until the time to spill their blood comes. We constantly replenish our stock to keep this holy ground soaked red. Only a few brave ones ever earn the honor of serving the Thorn.
Now, how could I help the Thorn?
Think you have what it takes? All right. Prove your worth, and I'll reward your service. The Thorn needs newborn specimens that will one day grow to honor us with their blood. Bring me 12 giant mantis's eggs. If you accomplish this, I might gift you with greater tasks in the future.
Right, where can I find them?
You'll find egg-carrying mantises in the wasteland. But a wise hunter would
New
search
Vegas
the
is my
mantis'
favorite too.
breeding ground, like the nearby ruins of Vault 22.
Alright, I'll find those eggs.
You've got yourself a deal. So long, stranger.
Yeah, New Vegas is also my favorite. Alright, lead me dry.
New Vegas. Paradise.
Like, so I'll give you, like, my favorite and least favorite things about the different Fallout games. Fallout 1 is where it all started. It has a really good story. It's got very interesting villains. And it really sets the tone of, like, post-apocalyptic world. That's what Fallout 1 has. Fallout 2 is really good because it shows the post-apocalyptics. Post-apocalypse. So it shows, like, what happens when people start rebuilding. All that sort of stuff. And, like, how, you know, the theme of the series, War Never Changes, is really true. Because even though people are rebuilding, they end up making they end up making the exact same mistakes that people made before. So it's really good in that sense, and it also has the humor aspect. So it's got, like, some actual funny stuff in it. And they fixed a lot of, like, the bugs, glitches, the stuff that, like, doesn't quite make sense or doesn't quite work properly in the first game. So, like, for example, in Fallout 1, you could get stuck. If your companions walked, like, right in front of you and you were, like, basically in a corner, you'd get stuck. And then in Fallout 2, they just added a function where you can, like, make the companions move away. You can basically, like, push them away. Simple fix, but it makes the game, like, a lot more, convenient to play. Bad things about Fallout 2? The story's not as good as Fallout 1. But I do still think it's really good. Like if, apart from New Vegas, I reckon Fallout 2 is probably my favorite. What else about Fallout 2? I guess it doesn't have the same, like, dark tone as the original, which can be a drawback. Fallout 3, I think it's got some really good side quests. A lot of the side quests are really fun. Like, you know, there's the giant ant side quest, there's the superhero and supervillain, like the mechanizer and the antagonist. That side quest is really fun. Oh, the Thorn is currently closed, okay. It's got a lot of really fun side quests, but I think the main story is not very good. And the DLCs are very hit or miss. So the Pit and Point Lookout are really good. The other DLCs suck, in my opinion. Like, they're actually, like, not good. New Vegas, I think it's got the best... It's definitely my favorite overall. Good stories. The DLCs are all good. Voice acting is better. Probably the weakness of New Vegas is the side quests are a bit less interesting. Like, this one is just getting eggs.
Welcome back,
how interesting
stranger.
is that? Alright, here's the egg you wanted.
Do you have good news?
Yeah, there's the mantis eggs.
Good work, stranger. The Thorn will nurture these eggs until their hatchlings are ready to bleed for us. Here's a compensation for your service.
Yeah, the
I
side
trust that
quests
we're in
aren't
agreement
necessarily as
over it.
interesting. There's a lot more like side quests of like, you know, get us stuff. Wow, thanks for getting us stuff, and then you just get some XP, that's it.
You speak the truth, stranger. And the Thorn lives by the justice that honor and strength dispense. Here's a more fitting sum.
Alright, is there anything else I can do?
Bring me a dozen rad scorpion eggs. I'll see to it that you're rewarded fairly.
Alright, where can I find them?
The eggs I seek are not easy to find, stranger. Your best chances are in the mountains north of Good Springs and west from Quarry Junction.
Alright.
You've...
What else is not so good about Fallout New Vegas? It still uses the crappy, Bethesda... whatever this engine is called. It's, like... But it's not a good engine. Like, it's the fault of Fallout 3 as well. But the engine of this game is, like... it's crap. And it's like New Vegas is very buggy. It's very prone to crashes. Not that Fallout 3 isn't, but New Vegas is even worse. Speaking of, the game just crashed. Perfect timing. Yeah. That's how you know that it's New Vegas. It crashes every now and then. Yeah. Both of the games are insanely unstable. New Vegas is just a bit worse. That's probably one of the worst things about New Vegas. I mean, New Vegas is more sad than anything because so much of the game is there's so much cut content. So I guess there's that, but that's not the developer's
Welcome
fault.
back, stranger.
You can thank the publisher for that. Yeah, I'm not going to read her dialogue again. Yeah, the publisher, which is Bethesda, forced them to rush the game out. So that's where the cut content comes from. It's where all the bugs come from.
Careful with those fiends in the western sewers.
Yeah, Bethesda games are always a 50-50 on issues. That's very true. Now, the problem with Bethesda is they just rely on the community to fix the game for them. Like, I'm not running any mods. There are plenty of mods that make the game more stable, fix a lot of bugs. There's some that even add in some of the cut content. The hell?
Going to place me a good bet at the Thorn.
I've literally never been to this part of the map before. In all the times I've played New Vegas, I've never been into the sewers. Why am I even being directed down here? I did not even know that this was a place I could go. Right. This game is 14 years old and I'm still finding new stuff. There's ghouls down here? Oh my god, okay, I need to back off. Alright, so that was a lot of the main Fallout games. Fallout 4. Got a lot to say about Fallout 4. I think that Fallout 4 has the worst story out of any of the Fallout games I've played. What are the good parts about Fallout 4? Let's try and talk about the good stuff. The combat is fun. The combat and the shooting is NCR. What? This leads to Camp McCarran? I had no idea. The combat is somewhat more enjoyable than... it's on the other side of this wall. The combat in Fallout 4, it's more fun than the other games. That's one thing it's got going for it. The graphics look a bit better. I want to give it a fair shake. I don't just want to rag on it, because I can rag on Fallout 4 for a long time. What else is good about Fallout 4? The Far Harbor DLC is good.
Can't run from me.
So they had one really good DLC for it.
You're mine. Can't run from me.
What else is good? That's probably about it in terms of the positives for me.
All mine.
Yeah, like with all the Fallout games, I can see some like I still think that Fallout 3 is a good game. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as New Vegas, but I still think it's a good game. Fallout 4, I think, and this is my opinion, it's not a good Fallout game, and I think it's not a good RPG. It's a good shooter, but it's not an RPG. You know, for me, what makes an RPG good is things like meaningful choices. Like actual tough moral dilemmas. Some sort of skill or progression system. Like, you know, Fallout has typically had, like, skills. The Elder Scrolls has skills as well, but they work differently. Fallout 4 doesn't have any skills, it's just got XP and it's just got perks. And quite frankly, most of the perks are just not interesting.
Welcome back, stranger.
So I think it's a fun enough shooter. It's a good game if you just want to switch off your mind and just shoot stuff.
Do you have good news for the Thorn?
It's fun enough in that regard, but in terms of like an RPG, it's not good.
Good work, stranger. The
Your
Thorn
choices
will
don't
nurture
make a
these
difference.
eggs until their hatchlings are ready to bleed.
The
for
endings
us.
are all almost the
As a
same,
compensation for your service.
which is also a
I
problem with
trust
Fallout
that we're
3,
in
if you
agreement
ask
over
me.
it.
I don't have enough to get the last bar to check. 300 is
I
fine.
thank you, stranger. The Thorn thanks you.
There's anything else I can
Bring
do.
me a dozen fire gecko eggs. This great challenge will earn you a matching reward.
Where can I find them?
Fire geckos are among the wasteland's most dangerous creatures. Near the
What else don't I
Irritated
like
Peaks
about Fallout 4?
lies a nest where you may find
The
their
base
eggs.
system, not a fan.
Com-
I hate base building mechanics. Oh, I see we have an unwanted guest. Goodbye. Yeah, I generally don't like base building mechanics in games. I know for some of you might think, oh, this is heresy, I love base building sections. And if you like them, that's your choice, but they're not really my cup of tea. And the way that Fallout 4 implements them is they're like the worst. Like the base building in Fallout 4 is bad. I don't like it. They moved away from traditional side quests. There are some, don't get me wrong. But they moved more towards the Elder Scrolls like Radiant quest system. So for those of you who don't know, in maybe Oblivion, but definitely in Skyrim, there's basically infinite quests. You might be thinking, how's that possible? Basically, there are quest givers who will generate random quests for you. So if you, for instance, let's talk about the Thieves Guild in Skyrim. If you say, I want a burglary job, they will generate from a list of items to steal. It'll generate an item. It'll pick a random location, out of a list and say, this is where you're stealing from, this is the item that you're stealing, go do it. Fallout 4 went into that sort of direction, so there's the whole, you know, another settlement needs our help, General. Which gets old very quick. Like, I don't necessarily have a problem with, Radiant quests. Like, it's cool, I think, for people who really like a game that, like, you know, in theory, there's infinite content out there, right? Like, if you want to play Fallout 4 forever, or Skyrim forever, you can. Like, there is infinite quests. They're not particularly interesting. There's not really, like, a story to go with them. But, if you're just looking for pure content, it's there. You can co-op Skyrim, that's cool. And I do want to make it clear, I don't hate Skyrim. I actually think Skyrim is pretty good. It's not as good as, Oblivion or Morrowind, but Skyrim, I actually think is quite a good game. And I think the raiding quests were better implemented in Skyrim than in Fallout 4. What else don't I like about Fallout 4? The factions are just so lame, man. The Brotherhood of Steel, Bethesda can't decide what they want the Brotherhood of Steel to be like. You know, in Fallout 3, they reimagined the Brotherhood of Steel as like these saviors of the wasteland. And I was okay with that. And then in Fallout 4, they just go back to being more like the Brotherhood in the other games. So they just can't make up their mind what they want to do with the Brotherhood of Steel. I think the Institute is stupid, honestly. That's probably the best way I can describe that faction. The Father faction. Yeah, the Institute, it's pretty much the it's pretty much the Enclave, but like not the Enclave. And that's another thing, Bethesda is obsessed with the Enclave. Like, I like how in Fallout New Vegas, the Enclave is literally, like, 6 people. And 5 of them are in their, like, 70s or 80s. I like that Obsidian is saying, like, hey, these guys are, like, actually, like, dinosaurs. They're a dying breed. Stop putting them in the games. Yeah, the Railroad, I don't know. I still don't really get what the Railroad's mission is. Like, oh, I know the Railroad is like, we want to liberate synths and stuff like that. But, I don't know, it's just such a weird faction. Like, this idea that they're humans, most of them. And they're willing to put their lives on the line for synths. I'm willing to believe that. But the faction sacrifices so many people for synths. And it's like, at a certain point, you have to wonder, like, what are these people actually fighting for? Like, if your argument is, like, we want to preserve intelligent life, and we see the synths as intelligent life, fair enough, but you're, like, sacrificing a whole lot of humans to get it done. I have no idea where this, like, objective marker is taking me. The big thing with the Railroad is, I don't see them as a major faction. I could see them as, like, a side faction. They died for our sin, I mean synths, yeah, pretty much. Like, I just don't see the Railroad as a viable faction. Like, they can pretty much take over the Commonwealth. And I just don't, I don't buy it. is the big thing. They're a side faction? They're not a side faction, though. You can, like, win the game with them. You can side with them, and they can, like, destroy the, Institute. I have absolutely no idea where this is. A playing card? I was a large whiskey bottle. They are considered a side faction? Okay, that makes sense. They help the Minutemen. Yeah, but the thing is the Minutemen, I don't really buy the Minutemen either. Like, I don't know. Preston is probably the most annoying character in that game. I think that kind of goes without saying. It's like the Boomers. They kind of are like the Boomers. Yeah. But that's the thing, the Boomers aren't like one of the main factions in New Vegas. Imagine if there was the Boomer ending. People would laugh at that. I mean, some people say it should be a King's ending. But I think they're being ironic. I don't know. My biggest problem with both of the Bethesda Fallouts, and this is an argument, it's probably a tired argument at this point, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because it deserves to be said. Bethesda has no idea how time works. You might be thinking, what are you talking about? In Fallout 3, it's been 200 years. I'm pretty sure the game, when you start playing, like when you actually get to leave the vault, it's been 200 years since the bombs fell. 200 years is a long time, right? And in all that time, nobody's figured out how to purify water. In that time, the people of Megaton are still living around a live bomb. The part that makes Megaton ridiculous is, oh, far out the Legion. They're living right next to, like, an actual proper town. I can't remember what it's called. But they're living next to a town that's got, like, actual houses and stuff, and they're choosing to live in, like, these, like, shacks. And it doesn't make any sense. It's been 200 years. Or like Fallout... Or Fallout 4. Like... It's been 200 years and like... Nothing is like developed. There's like one decent city. They can't progress because people turn into ghouls, raiders, or cannibals? No, but that's the thing, right? In the original game, Fallout 1, it took place, it was just over 100 years after the bombs. There was already, like, major settlements with, like, trade routes. There was a new currency in the form of bottle caps, which, again, something that I probably need to mention is that the currency in Fallout 3 is bottle caps for no reason. In Fallout 1, bottle caps are tied to the value of water. So the water merchants have said one bottle cap is worth, I think it's like it's like 10 milliliters of water or something like that. So they actually created the bottle cap currency. Then in Fallout 2, because the NCR becomes a thing, they start using actual dollars. By the time Fallout New Vegas has rolled around, the NCR has gone into like an economic collapse, so bottle caps have come back into use because nobody trusts the NCR dollar anymore. It's still around, but it's not trustworthy. But there's no reason why bottle caps are used as the currency in Fallout 3. Because Fallout 3 is on the complete opposite side of
Can't run
the
from
country
me.
to the rest of this. Anyway. Enough of my ranting.